right, so what I'm going to do today is give you guys a long-term review on the Ducati Scrambler. I have a little over 1,000 miles on the motorcycle. I've primarily ridden in the urban environment. I have only taken it off-roading, and I really can't even call it off-roading, but off paved roads, you know, some dirt trails once for about 20 miles. The rest of it has been purely, you know, kind of what you're seeing here, back roads, combination of city riding and some very light highway riding. I've only done maybe 200 or 300 miles on the highway. So let's start with the good after 1,000 miles on this motorcycle. You know, it's lightweight, and that lightness just makes it a gem to handle in the urban environment. When you're parking the motorcycle, moving it around, slow speeds, it really helps out. So that's a plus. 2, so you get the lightness factor, that's good. 2 is the engine. Engine's great. It took me a little bit to get accustomed to it, coming from a hyper motard. And once I kind of figured it out, and also the bike settled after the first service. Yeah, it's fantastic. You know, it has plenty of power in the power delivery. The range is good. The bandwidth, you know, the power band on it is what it should be. And for, you know, 0 to 75 miles an hour type riding, it's fantastic. Now here's the downfall of the engine, and I get it. When you're on the freeway going over 75 miles an hour, yeah, not the best. Just not the best. Okay, so definitely an area of weakness for this motorcycle is highway riding, and you know, I get it. It's a scrambler. It's not meant to be ridden on the highway, and so, you know, by all means, for urban use, which primarily that's what everybody who gets this motorcycle is going to be riding in the urban environment, city environment, some light trail riding, it's perfect. But you want to get on the highway, you want to go to your destination, then in that case, yeah, it's, you know, I'm at 6,000 RPM at 75 miles an hour, which, you know, there's some vibration to that, and, you know, it almost feels like it needs an overdrive gear for highway riding. That is for sure. Something that's lacking on this bike. But, you know, I bought a Scrambler. I did not buy it for highway cruising, so take that with a grain of salt. You know, it is what it is. It's a tool for urban riding and trail riding. I'm gonna hopefully stop right here. I'm looking for a nice little spot where I can stop and talk, and this might be as good as any. So let me pull over right here and talk about the rest of this bike. Yeah, so it doesn't fall over. Yeah, there she is. So talked about how it's lightweight. Makes it awesome in around the city. You're parking, you get to places with elevation. You want to use your feet to park it and get it on the right in the right spot. It's perfect. The power delivery, it's awesome. Up until 75 miles an hour. I'm at 6,000 RPM on this bike at 75 miles an hour. So not the best for long highway riding, and you want to cruise between 70 to 80 miles an hour typically here in California on the highways, or else you just can get passed up by everybody. Again, not the best bike for that, but that's really not the purpose of it. Other good things about this bike, it gets a lot of looks, man. So everybody gives a thumbs up. So that's subjective, but it is what it is. Braking, it's only got one disc brake there, but it's ample. That's the only. This is the first naked bike I've had that has only one brake, one disc. So I thought it's not going to be enough for this bike, but it really is. I've done some emergency braking. Thank God, not in reality, but just for practice. No skidding, stops on a dime. Next thing, handling. So you get the lightweight with this chassis, and just the way the suspension is tuned, and the power delivery, it makes for a bike that handles very well. It really does. It's a toss-up. My Hypermotard handled really well too, and but it's probably the best handling bike as far as sports standard that I've ever owned, and I've owned several motorcycles. So it handles beautifully. It really does. So that's the positives of the bike, guys. I'll keep this simple. Negatives. I'm gonna say this thing right here, man. The seat, stock seat. No matter how you fit your body to it, you want to move around on it. Stock seat it's not comfortable. So this is the Icon model. I know there's another seat that comes on the Classic, maybe even on a full throttle. I think the seat's different. I'm just curious how those are. It has not softened in the 1,000 miles that I've had the motorcycle. So definitely waiting for some aftermarket options. Hopefully Corbin comes up with one. I've actually emailed them, waiting a response on that. So that's the con. The other thing again is it's subjective. Is the so those are the cons. The other thing, but it is subjective, is the size of this bike. I've said this in all my moto vlogs, kind of reviews. It's a small motorcycle. I'm 5'10" with my boots on. So not the biggest guy in the world, but the bike still feels small to me. My legs are up, my knees are up. I mean, I've gotten a little more used to it, but dimensions are small. That's one of the cons of the motorcycle. So pros, we'll review the lightweight, the power delivery, and the handling. I think the looks. I think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful motorcycle. Those are the pros. The cons are the stock seat and just how tiny it is. The dimensions. I wish it was an inch taller. That's really it. That's kind of my long-term review. Do I have any type of buyer's remorse? I'll tell you, no, I do not. I do not have buyer's remorse. I do not have buyer's remorse at all with this motorcycle. It is it's just a fine motorcycle. I have a cruiser as well. If I only had one motorcycle, would this be it? No, definitely not. But as my second motorcycle, something to tool around with, in an environment like this, yeah, man, it's spot on. It is a spot on motorcycle. I have no complaints. Very, very, very happy.